What is up?
What's going on, guys?
I'm Andrew and Chris here doing a little National Wine Day virtual tasting for you guys. Excited to be back with you, buddy. I haven't done this with you in a while.
I know, man. I know.
I've watched a few of them, but was with Brad last time, Callie one time. So
I'm better than all of them, right?
Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while. What have you been up to? Where you been? What have you been doing?
I slept in my bed last night. It was awesome.
I feel like we've been just like crossing paths.
Ships passing in the night.
I know, seriously.
We've had a busy couple of weeks. Last week, went and visited my brother. By the way, before we get into this, let's pour some wine into your glass, guys. Also,
we are here to drink wine, I think.
Yeah, happy National Wine Day.
Absolutely. I get started with this Albariño. It's from Lost Straw. It's a good one. We'll talk about it here in a second. But
get some wine in your glass. Tell us where you're joining from. I see lots of fun people. Eric, my brother from another. Good to see you, man. I can't wait for another duck hunt. Another duck hunt. That was awesome.
I know. I got a lot of, bad ill will about this, but I'll be there next time, guys.
Yeah, jump on. Tell us where you're joining from. Tell us what you're drinking right now. Obviously, I hope everybody got the pack, but we got lots of fun stuff to drink. So we've had a really busy couple of weeks.
It's supposed to be the off season, but I feel like it's been pretty busy.
We just Catherine and I and the girls just went to Baltimore for the weekend and saw my brother-in-law, and then I put them on a plane, and the girls and I hung out. We went to a Nationals game, had a great time.
Who did they play?
They played the Astros.
What did you think of that stadium?
It was
a big stadium guy. All the baseball parks, I wanted this from all.
The stadium was awesome. It was hot AF. I tell you what, because I got these badass tickets like right, like thinking it was like, oh, it's an afternoon game. It's great. Well, no, there's a reason why these like $300 tickets.
Right in the sun.
Yeah. We roasted.
No, it's a cool park though. I've been there before. We've been doing a little baseball in my household too.
I heard about the big win.
Yeah, so I've got kids in Little League now, so that's a thing. I coached a bunch of 7-year-olds this year, so that was a fun experience to say the least. But yeah, we got a win against the undefeated team our last game. Our kids are pretty cool.
Was it just great athleticism or
it's coaching.
Coaching. I knew you were going to say that.
We started out a little rocky during the year, but we won like our last 5 or 6 games, so I feel pretty responsible.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
Not at all, actually. Our kids just really bonded, did pretty good together. But yeah, we've been doing a lot of fun stuff. We got to go on a pretty cool trip last week to Nashville, represent some Lost Straw wines in Nash Vegas. Played the celebrity golf tournament. I actually didn't get to play, but got to meet a lot of cool people.
Pour some wine?
Absolutely. Poured a bunch of wine for all the good folks out there that were.
Anybody famous?
A few people. Oh, John Daly, he warmed up for the PGA championship at this event that I was at.
Did he taste the wine?
He warmed up for sure. He warmed up starting about 8 a.m. and
so
never
awesome.
stopped. It was a good time. But yeah, we got to go out there with some friends. It's really fun.
Heck yeah, man. Before I forget, Kelly, hello from Houston. Jennifer, of course, good to see you, Jennifer. I would have expected you to be here. I'd be sad if you weren't. Trace, the mayor pro tem. I think that's how you say it. Steve Martin, what's going on? James Izell. You're pouring some Hunter. That's what I'm talking about.
I like that. If you guys are doing something cool, let us know. We like to talk about it.
Absolutely. Post some pictures.
We're here sharing this time with you guys. So.
Also, guys, you can share this video right now to all your friends. Let them know that you're watching, which would be awesome too. So, Gazelia from San Antonio, good to see you. Lee Wilson, what's up? Sarah Waterwell.
Trace, big man Trace is out there.
Yeah, did you hear he's the mayor now?
Oh, man.
Yeah, or mayor pro tem. I don't really know what that means, but I saw it.
We'll have to ask him about that one later.
Rick, what's up? Robert Miller, hello from a lot of people from San Antonio. That's awesome. The Kesslers, what is going on, guys? It's so good to see you. Raymond Marr from College Station. I was just there the other day, drinking at the chicken. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of family on here that are sending kids off to college. So hopefully you're celebrating that right now. Hopefully you're not sending them to College Station though. Sending them to Lubbock where the real cool kids hanging out.
Of course, if you're sending your kids to Tech, maybe they didn't get into A&M, so I understand.
Ouch, man. Burn. It's all right.
Francisco, what's
See how
up?
baseball turns out.
Michelle, what's going on? Where are you guys getting from? Round Rock, awesome. Michelle Brundrett, great to see you. Thank you for joining us. Rick bought the pack. He's drinking Albariño right now, I assume. Carrie McGravy, what's up? 18 WCV Temp from High Cross. Good call. Brian White Eagle, what's going on, man? I haven't seen you here in a while. I miss you. Bill Perry, what's going on? Zen, what's up? Brian Gillenwater, wow, good to see you, man. From Brian's on 290. That's awesome. Nathan and Ashley Fitz, what's up? I'm ready to see you this weekend, girlfriend. I heard you had a little birthday coming up. Let me try to get to all these. Wendy, Kelly, Nathan May is drinking Newsom. Very cool. That's some good wine. Trace is back up here. Oh my gosh, you guys are good. I need Catherine here because she's always good at keeping up.
Lucky you.
Oh, there she is. Oh, didn't show up today. Karen Davis, what's going on? Raven Marr. Awesome. Sandra Eads, what's going on, girlfriend? I haven't seen you in a minute. So awesome. Keep on letting us know where you guys are from and we'll get started.
So what's, we've been kind of out and about, but I know a lot of people have been coming in and asking like what's going on in the vineyard, how the weather's affected us recently. Yeah. Obviously, we finally got some rain. So
yeah, we got almost 2 inches last night at Uplift. We got almost 2 inches last night.
And no hail. So that's what we go for. Rain with no hail, big thunderstorm, a lot of water coming in.
That's right. So we could really use the rain right now. So we're all go no quit. Taking some rain is very much needed. Not only do our other farming friends need rain right now, the hill country is super dry. So we got rain in the High Plains last night too. So
we got the full estate effect. It was pretty good
without hail. So that's another good thing.
We're kind of going through like a little bit of like shatters getting pretty close. Like we got some stuff going on there. So
we're kind of through shatter now. I mean, it was out in Uplift this morning and. Oh man, that vineyard looks so awesome. We were in a bunch of the different blocks. I think we've got some pictures. I don't know if it's the right time to put those on, but we've got some Tempranillo from right out here, Tanat from right outside, which is pretty cool. The vineyard has never looked better. Guys, I got to tell you, we are on an amazing vintage. We got a long way to go, but I tell you what, our vineyard crew, I'm so stinking proud of them. We have all of our guys, our H2A workers in. I met with them this morning. There's like such an amazing group of people. They're doing an awesome job. The
vineyard does look amazing. Like if you haven't been out here to High, the estate vineyard looks awesome. I always kind of about this time of year is when like the harvest, like you kind of start gearing up for it. It's like, all right, here it comes. It's like we are getting down to the crunch time. It happens so fast. You go from like, feels like you get out of Christmas and it's like, oh, we got a ton of time until, the next harvest comes around, but here we are. We're not too far away. We're probably 45 days away from getting grapes in, which is pretty wild.
Oh, don't tell me that, man. Yeah, we've got some trips planned to the High Plains. We're going to go see our guys in East Texas. We're constantly doing trips all around the hill country, checking all our farms out. The guys in Mason are doing an awesome job too. So we're super excited about the vintage, guys. So I couldn't be more pumped.
That's awesome. Like vineyard stuff's going good, and we got some really cool stuff happening with the winery too. I know that WCV's got a really cool release coming out pretty soon. You pretty stoked about that?
Oh man, those whites and rosés, like I feel like there's so much pent up demand, and we have probably the best set of white and rosé wines about to release.
I will concur with that. I tasted everything like as it was coming off the bottling line, and a few days before it got put in the bottle, and I was just like, man, this is some of the best white wine I think that we've produced over here. So.
I agree, man. Tony and Claire are just dialing everything, and then Tony's really pushing our program a lot with concrete and a little bit of oak too. It's just I think the subtleties. And Brad as well. I mean, Brad is just getting so good, and I love this experience level that just keeps on. Like we've got so many vintages under our belt.
Oh, for sure.
It's crazy. We have more experience than anybody in the state of Texas on our team, and there's nobody that can touch what we've the amount of vintages collectively that we've all had. And I'm not saying that makes us the best, but it's just we've seen a lot, and I think that experience is really just starting to add up and show in the winemaking.
What's your favorite white and rosé in the release? Or we're gonna hold that.
You can't ask me that. Actually, it's a toss up.
Yeah, this Grenache rosé is really good. We'll get to these points here in a minute, but yeah, that one is pretty awesome. Yeah, and for Lost Draw, we also have the rosé release coming up. That's like kind of become one of the most popular releases, I think, of the year.
Yeah.
And we do the really cool paella event around it, and there's some really, really killer rosés in that pack.
Well, I got to give a shout out to our fans. I mean, I go to Lost Draw, I go to William Chris, and I see like, big tough cowboys like drinking rosé and like.
Oh, it's the best thing ever. Like you go to an event and they're like, we were at the event in Nashville and we had a white rosé and a red, and all those golfers come up and they're like, yeah, what's your choice? What's your favorite wine? I'm like, man, honestly, I think this rosé is my favorite one. They're like, what, rosé? And then they taste it and you're like, man, that really is good.
Yeah.
It kind of like shocks them. But
well, experienced wine drinkers can really appreciate that delicious, wine. And there's so much complexity in rosé that I think that it's definitely, if you know wine, then rosé is your friend. And
that's what I love about our release with the rosés too, is like they're all different styles. Some are super acid driven. There's some with a little bit more weight and depth. And then shout out to my Jordan Osborne. This is the second,
Jordy Juice.
The second go at his very own wine made totally by himself. It's nicknamed the Jordy Juice. It's actually a 100% uplift rosé, but he did a really good job with it. And it's a very, very solid wine. Very proud of it.
Hey guys, if you guys have questions, do pop them in. And Dylan and Leah's here too. If you guys can help me shout out some questions every night, just raise your hand. I'll look up. Before we jump in this first wine, which I'm out because it's delicious.
Drink it through.
We got a giveaway. We have a bitchin' giveaway that I'm super excited about. By the way, it's a no dump Wednesday.
I'm excited. I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, we're going to be giving away a super cool trip. I'll tell you a little bit about that in a little bit, but it's going to be at the end. So stay tuned. All right, what are we drinking, buddy?
Yeah, so this is we're talking a lot about whites and rosés today because we have those coming up. And just so you know, like all of the stuff that we have, like all the events, the paella event that we were talking about, you can go to the website, get tickets for that at lostdrawcellars.com. It's I think there are still tickets left for it. It's pretty popular. So come out and see that. But what you have in your glass right now is the Arroyo Blanco. And it's an Albariño, mostly Albariño. But one of the very first wines, like the oldest wines that Lost Draw started making was an Arroyo Blanco. And it's a pretty special wine. I think we've refined it like a bit through the years, but it's always had a pretty similar profile through all the vintages. But this one is pretty on point. I like it. It's like very balanced and
all stainless,
100% stainless. It's always like we wanted to talk a little bit, I think, at this virtual tasting about some different winemaking styles and like some different unique pieces to our portfolios and like what makes the wines distinct and a little bit different at times. And I will say, like Lost Draw, we were a big proponent of 100% stainless white wines just to like really provide that aromatic profile. And we love making wine in screw caps, which, some people perceive that as like a cheaper wine, but it really is just to preserve aromatics and let less oxygen into the wine after bottling.
This wine totally pops too. Like we opened it maybe 10 minutes ago and it really evolves in the glass. It is super aromatic.
And what I love about Albariño is it does provide like those really high tropical notes, like the esters that you get, like especially like fermentation of Albariño is always like tasting the wines through fermentation. Albariño is like always my favorite white wine to taste because it's just like always so beautiful. But it's got a really cool aromatic profile. But what's unique about Albariño is it can carry some weight, even though it's like really acid driven generally. And we've done it with 100% stainless. We've actually fermented and aged Albariño in concrete, which was a big kind of plan of Brad's to try out. Just to
were you happy with it?
Oh, it was great. And there is a portion of the Albariño that we make at Lost Draw that does go into concrete. Not this one, just because with the Muscat, it kind of provides the weight that you need.
Sure.
But it's always kind of like a medium-bodied, super acid-driven, really aromatic wine. I love it. It's definitely take it, get it cold, drink it. You don't really even need food with it. Just crush it.
And this is available right now.
Yeah. So what's really cool about this Arroyo series, it's like one of the original series of Lost Straw. We did an Arroyo Blanco and Arroyo Rojo, and we made them blends from the very beginning. A lot out of just flexibility. But Arroyo in Spanish is a draw. So Lost Draw is kind of our namesake. And I think we have a trivia question that we're going to go through right now. Is it a good time to go through this?
Sure.
Probably so.
Yeah.
But if you do, just go ahead and put on there if you know what a draw is, because we do get the question a lot. It's not like we didn't get our name from losing a gunfight or, a poker hand or something like that.
Where does the draw come from?
Yeah, so an Arroyo is a good little
I'm looking
hint
forward
in
to
that.
seeing all your.
Somebody's going to get it right. Let's see. Somebody's got it quick.
So while he's talking about that, when can we get the rosés, by the way? When are the rosés going to be released?
The rosés are going to be released at the Rosé release party. I think it's actually National Rosé Day, which is pretty rad. It's June 11th, National Rosé Day. It's a Saturday, so that's a really cool thing about like this wine club event. Most of our wine club release parties are always on Sunday, but the National Rosé Day is on Saturday. So we do an evening Saturday event, which gives a little bit more options for like wine club members to come into town, celebrate, have a place to stay in town, and not have to like go back home and go to work on.
Cool.
They can sleep it off on Sunday, so that's kind of a.
Is there going to be food at that event too?
I am, man.
Oh man,
I'm gonna rip it up, and we should. Skip is actually doing the paella.
Oh, cool.
And it'd be a really cool. Now it's probably a really cool time to highlight Skip King, he's our new culinary director, and dude is crushing it. Came in not even that long ago. Love him. He's got a really cool perspective and brought a lot of energy to that program. And the stuff at Lost Straw is, if you haven't been at Lost Straw in a while, you need to go out there and check out the sandwiches.
Come in for lunch.
I quit eating out during the week. I just get a sandwich. The Cuban is my favorite, but they got some really cool stuff out there. It's really cool, and you can get just an actual meal with your wine, and it's a cool thing for members to do, and it actually provides if you've been to Fredericksburg recently, it is so hard to find a place to eat lunch or do anything. So really leaning into that a little bit, trying to give our members and fans a place to go get a good glass of wine, not have to fight a crowd. So,
yeah, absolutely.
And it's great food. So
all right,
check it out.
The draw. Kelly McLeod says a water source. That's kind of close, but I don't think it hits it. Mary Manley says
you're almost right.
Says Valley. That's pretty close.
Zen, you don't qualify.
Yeah,
you work here.
Zen, you can't say it. He says the Dry Creek bed, which is
absolutely correct.
Yeah. Ravine.
That's pretty close.
Actually, Jenny, God bless you, because I can't spell TV, and I feel like the way you spelled it is wrong, but I don't know. But I think we should definitely give you the thumbs up. Congratulations, Jenny. You did awesome. Is that how you spell Ravine? It's R-A-V-I-N-E?
R-A-V-I-N-E.
I went to Texas A&M. Forgive me. I can barely spell.
All the Texas Tech jokes over here. I can't even spell. Perfect. Yes, it is. It draws with Dry Creek bed, and if you've been to High Plains, which is where our original vineyard is located, it's super flat, but we get big rain events that create these natural depressions in the earth to carry water runoff. Yeah. And they're called draws, and they've been around for hundreds of years. And one of the coolest things that I really remember over the last 5 years is I went into a Buc-ee's, and it was this old geographical map of Texas, and it was when it was still tied to Mexico and had all the rivers and everything. And I went up to the area where I grew up, right outside of Brownfield, and Lost Draw is a notated draw.
No way.
Yeah, that feeds out into the Colorado River. So that was kind of cool. I tried to buy it, but they wouldn't sell it to me. It was a piece of art that goes and go up to the bathroom.
Oh,
which, Buc-ee's bathrooms are awesome.
Yeah, they are.
But yeah, so it's a name draw, and the Spanish kind of translation for that is an Arroyo, Dry Creek bed. And so we always did a Spanish type of blend, red and white. So Albariño, Muscat's a very common blend that you find in Spain. And it's a really two grapes that thrive here in Texas. And so our Arroyo Blanco has always been kind of an Albariño Muscat blend. That's what this one is.
I loved it, man. I loved it. I want to keep drinking.
Pretty tasty.
But
Yeah,
I got to keep moving here.
We do got to keep moving.
All right. Next up, guys, a little Grenache Rosé. This Grenache Rosé is from Vintage Press. Vineyards. By the way, there was a question here.
Where's Vintage Press Vineyards?
Vintage Press is right across the street
It's the closest vineyard that's not the estate.
Yeah, and this vineyard is awesome. So if you guys like the artist blend, it's Grenache, Syrah, Mourvèdre, Tannat. And that all comes from Vintage Press. And there's only a little bit of that Tannat block that we keep out separate. And then we make the Grenache Rosé from about a third of the blocks. We crop a little bit heavier because we want to pick it a little sooner. This is 100% concrete aged in eggs. And I love this wine. Also, I know it's like, this wine is only available to the Case Club White Rosé release and in this pack. So I would definitely encourage you can still snag it in the pack if you haven't got one. This wine is so killer. I wish we made more of it.
I wish we had more of this one too. And hats off to Johnny and those guys that farm this, because they do what's something really cool, like on the farming side, is we go and actually pick out different just rows in that Grenache block that are farmed specifically for rosé.
And we rotate them. So we'll do, last year we did the top, 2 years ago we did the top third, and then the second year we did the second third, or the middle third, and then this year we're doing the bottom third. So we'll kind of rotate that because we don't want to stress out the vines too much. There's kind of an idea that Tony and I had when we were looking at it, like instead of doing 5.5, 6 tons on this one block, but you want the rosé to be a little bit heavier cropped, so you get a little touch of that greenness in there. And this, oh man, we're fantastic. We can get it to the winery so quick, so you see just a little hint of color, and that's very intentional. And that concrete really gives that wine this kind of like a linear feel on your palate. I feel like it's very zesty, and this wine, like if you're looking at pairing, I mean, I want to drink this with oysters.
Oh, for sure.
Or eat oysters with this so bad.
Why this is a little different than like the stainless that you had in the last wine is that concrete will give just a little bit more texture and weight to the wine. And that just happens through just natural microoxygenation that happens through fermentation and aging. And we bottle this one a little bit later for a rosé than what you typically would do to give it a little bit more time.
All of that aging over lees. And what's interesting about the concrete eggs, the lees, we age over lees, but the lees are almost always in flux. They're almost always constantly stirred. So every time you try to sample the wine, it's a little cloudy because the lees never have a chance to settle. So if you look at an egg, the convection currents actually stir the wine. And we have, Lost Straw, you guys, we have a couple of eggs over there. We have,
I think we have in our total production now, we have 6 eggs and then the 2 big square concrete cubes.
And then we have a couple more.
We got 3 more really cool ones coming. I'm excited. And after harvest, come during harvest, you can come check out our product. We're really doing a facelift on the upstairs production fermentation room now. It's like a fermentation room. It used to be a barrel facility, and now it's a fermentation room. But we got 3 brand new big concrete vessels coming in that are pretty.
I'm pumped about it.
Neat. Yeah.
Guys, we have some questions. Well, Leah, Dylan, what was the first question?
The first question was, do you think Rosé will continue to gain market share the way that it has been?
So right now, the question is, do we think Rosé will continue to gain market share in a bull market? Absolutely. I mean, I think the smart, sophisticated wine drinkers are really figuring out, like, this wine is delicious. It's complex. It's not as expensive as buying a 3 or 5 year old white or red wine. So you can really experience an amazing vineyard. If you guys haven't noticed, it is like super hot in Texas. So, I mean, I'm going to take a bottle or 2 of this to the river this weekend, and we are going to crush it, at lunch for sure. I think Rosé is gaining market share by leaps and bounds, like the numbers, the Nielsen ratings show it every day. And there's a lot of competition for Rosé, but I think like In Texas, we don't make generally as high alcohol wines as say like the West Coast. That's why like I'm not gonna like poo-poo the West Coast, but they can't even touch us in rosé. Like the rosé category, like Texas is like built for rosé, and we're able to produce really high quality fruit, and we're able to get it to market very quick. And what's also cool about Texas rosé, although I think we're gonna do it a little different this year, we're really held our rosés for a little bit longer than we ever have, and we wanted to like get everything prepared and ready. It's supply chain issues, all that other good stuff. But I think next year we'll release them just a touch earlier. But Texas, we can always hit the market a little quicker than everybody else, especially in Europe or West
And
Coast.
I would like also just add that like the food that we eat in Texas is just like ripe for rosé. So
Absolutely.
like Texas cuisine is just like really, really giving rosé a platform and a voice in so many different ways. And like the styles are so different. I think people are learning more about it now, and like how our varieties really are like the perfect for making rosé, and just the different techniques, and they're vastly different. Like rosés are not just a simple
No, there's so much
very complex
going on.
Yeah.
I mean, paint this picture. Saturday, I'm going to get off the river after kayaking, and I'm going to pull the brisket off the smoker that I've had going on for all night. And then we're going to make tacos, like fresh tortillas with
Some Maria.
with some Fernandez salsa, some grilled jalapenos, some onions, and a little cotija, and oh man, with the squeeze of lime
So good.
on a corn tortilla. Get out of town with this wine. I can't wait. What's the other question too?
Another question, what are these? What are these?
Oh, lees. Oh, that's a great question. What are lees? You want to take this one?
Yeah, so lees is just grape matter that's naturally like present in wine. If you go through the process of like when we press the grapes, everything comes out as like juice, and then lees is like the small amount like grape matter that's like left over.
Protein. Yeah.
That's left over in the juice. And so when Chris is talking about like that batonnage process, like where we get lees contact, why that's so important is that lees is what like really drive a lot of the esters and the aromatics of the wine itself, and also like give a lot of the like weight and characteristics.
That texture, that
the phenolics
mid-palate
of the wine are like held in the lees. So the more contact that all the juice is in contact with the lees, generally like you're able to elongate that wine and make it last. It just builds a little bit more intensity and complexity of the profile.
In the Sauvignon Blanc that we have releasing next month, in the white and rosé release, also the Rousson, the lees are stirring, and so that kind of that lees stirring that we do in barrel, that batonnage, and we also do it in tank, really gives that wine almost like that creme brulee texture, that little bit of silkiness, like we had for dessert last night, which was fantastic, but that creaminess.
I abstained.
Oh, you
stayed away.
I'm not going to stay away from a good creme brulee. So.
I just had another beer.
But this wine, guys, I hope that you're all drinking it right now because it is so delicious. I hate that we make so little of it, but I'm so glad that all you guys that ordered the pack. Also, if you guys want to snag another one of these, it's still available. The pack, we're going to leave it on for another night. So you can grab one by the end of the night. So if you love this wine,
Yeah,
or
cheers,
one of
man.
those,
This is fantastic.
thanks, man. I really appreciate that. And hats off to Tony and Claire. They really dialed it in.
I do know that like this is the wine that Tony kind of like walked around, like real giddy about, like, hey, you want to taste this vintage Bressers? They like showed it to everybody.
That's why we didn't make that much. We drank it.
They just showed everybody that came through the cellar, like, hey, you want to try this vintage Bressers?
All right, next up, the La Pradera Rosé, or Mourvèdre. Also, I don't know if he's watching or not, but Andy Timmons, Uncle Andy, our brother from another, who's amazing. He turns 34 today.
35.
35, yeah. Actually, that's not true. He's probably, how old do you think he is?
I talked to him on the way, and I've already texted him to tell him, like, hey, I like had a 30-minute conversation with you earlier and forgot to wish you happy birthday, but happy birthday to our
Happy birthday.
Andy. He's a
One of a kind, man.
yeah, definitely a mentor for both of us. Super special.
Big
been
time.
a big part of our lives. We get to go fishing with them pretty soon. So I'm
Yeah,
excited.
we're all taking our dads fishing. So
Yeah.
I'm
Well, he's
super-
taking his son.
Yeah.
The rest
Father,
of
son,
us are
true.
taking our dads.
And this guy, Andy Timmons, I cannot tell you. Like, I know that neither Andrew or I or our company would be where it is
Absolutely not.
without Andy Timmons. So Andy Timmons is the farmer or the vineyard owner, vineyard manager of Pradera Vineyards. He is he also owns Timmons Estate, and he owns Lost Drop Vineyards. That's an interesting thing. I
He's
know.
one of the founders of Lost Straw Cellars.
That is very correct. A lot of people don't know that story. So Lost Draw Vineyards was established in 2006 or 2007, 2005.
Yep. Actually,
and
2004, and then I think first planting was 2005.
And
Who's
Andy,
counting?
yeah, it was a long time ago. And actually, I met Andy just rolling up to the vineyard and buying fruit from him, and we became fast friends. And actually, kind of like by happenstance, met Andrew because he was like pounding post. We were in college, and I was
Yeah, it's
fresh
working
out
out
of
there.
college. I'm only just a
He only
little
paid
bit.
me like $6 an hour, so I think that's like a wage rate thing that we should go.
You actually had a question earlier, when did you guys decide to partner up?
That is a great question. When did Andrew and I decide to partner up? Well, we were just always like the best of friends, and we were helping Lost Straw make wine, and I kind of
Had a lot of the same like thoughts and about the
philosophies.
industry, and like wanted to see it go a direction, and wanted to be a part of the change and the growth of the industry in general, and had partners that were like also kind of like ready to just chill out and not do as much. So
I think in 2000, man, when did you start making? So Andrew took Lost Straw
2015.
production, started making wine here. I remember it was probably in 16. I called Andrew and we were going through some of the wines, and he's like, "Hey, I'm going to get your barrel order prepped, and you know, I'm thinking we need to do this and this and this." And he's like, "I think I want to get these barrels and these barrels." And I was like, "All right," he's getting his own opinion, and it's not just. He's not like making the wine like how I'd make it, and he started pushing the wine in a different direction. And I was like, I like had so much respect for you, and like you're like didn't want to do exactly what I was doing. You're pushing the limits and taking the wines in a different direction. And William Chris was just their production facility, so it's like, you know, I mean, maybe Andrew leaned on me for a little bit of winemaking advice at the beginning, but he really immediately started taking off and started pushing the wines just as he wanted to, as a, you know, kind of with his own opinions, and obviously that was a good move.
yeah, it's
The
worked
wines
out.
have been fantastic.
For sure, and it's been a cool little partnership. But yeah, I guess like to answer the original question of like, we started talking about it probably on our trip to Spain. I think was the
Lots of booze and lots of great food, and yeah,
just being out there, seeing kind of how that industry was going. So 2017, 18, somewhere around there.
maybe no, it was
Then we started Sway, the can wine company.
yeah,
That's what really jump started the whole thing.
yeah. We started the first ever Texas grown canned wine brand, and it's still alive to this day. Still, you can.
Yeah,
You can,
speaking of rosé, if you're going to the river, you should take some Sway out.
oh, I'll take a case. It's definitely on the list. So, and then we started talking about it. You know, maybe joining forces. So, putting all the pieces together, which was not easy. But it's really proved to be amazing. I mean, we have 129 families as of today in our company that all have great health insurance and 401ks, and
A lot of cool synergies that bringing the companies allowed us to do.
yeah,
Mostly for our production, like obviously there's a lot of efficiencies that we're able to create, but also for our team members and be able to provide like so many cool things and benefits, because, you know, bringing a company together allows you to have more capital and resources to do that. And
Yeah.
it was kind of cool. That's like an impact that I don't know that either one of us like really realized what happened, but was both like when it was happening, it's like, man, this is like the coolest thing of all of this. So,
it really is. And to see our teams working together, I mean, so Brad and Andrew make all the Lost Straw wines. You know, they utilize. We all utilize multiple facilities, but it's really cool that the production styles are definitely different, which I find really fascinating. And our guys are getting better and better. We have a central cellar team that works for all three winemakers. or all three winemaking teams, if you will. So, you know, we have Claire, who's running our Uplift brand, which you'll be able to see here soon. And then Tony and myself on the William Chris side, and obviously Claire is still very involved in that. And then Brad and Andrew make all the Lost Straw wine.
And Jordan,
yeah.
Jordan's really like,
Jordan.
yeah, he's definitely been a big part of that.
Hell yeah. But it's really cool to see the team, and like even our cellar team, you know, they might have William Chris barrels and Lost Straw barrels right next to each other, and like there's different directions for different things. So and we also have different winemaking clients that we work with as well, so they have different directions. So the team's really getting awesome. We got to give a shout out to Luis too. He's
Absolutely
our cellar master, man. We couldn't do it without him.
He runs the largest barrel facility in Texas at this point. So
yeah, did you guys know that we have 5,000 plus barrels?
5,500.
Yeah, 5,500. Holy shit.
More coming.
Yeah. So, anyways, we'll keep on going. This La Pradera, guys, is
Yeah, what are we drinking right now?
La Pradera Mourvèdre.
Yeah.
I could talk all day about wine production, by the way. La Pradera Mourvèdre. So there's 3 different blocks: A block, B block, C block. We actually don't buy any of the A block anymore. We get all of B and C block. We end up bringing in about company-wide maybe 80 tons of La Pradera Mourvèdre. Almost all of that goes into William Chris production.
It's all goes to William Chris production now. Yeah.
And really some phenomenal fruit there. And I gotta say, the La Pradera is unique because there's a little bit of swell in the vineyard, and you would think that as a general rule that swell, that bottom area, whereas the kind of the deepest soil would typically like hold water, which it does, but out there it drains so incredibly well. But as a rule, my mind would always tell me that would be the less quality fruit. But I've started to fall in love with C block because the depth of the wine is really there. And so, you know, it's very interesting as we blend some of C block and some of B block together. And we'll probably make this wine 5 or 6 different ways and pick it a couple of different times. And then Tony is really the mastermind behind this wine because he's got different barrel programs, and we do some in large oak fermenter. And then we'll thread all of those back for maximum complexity. And so we're really looking for texture here, which I think is really the name of the game. And La Pradera has always been a little bit lighter in body, but like more fresh and has a ton of depth. It's very like, I think it's a little bit more of a feminine wine or a feminine vineyard for the Mourvèdre.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned it because we really have over the last 3 years started doing more of the multi-picks on different blocks at different times.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty, obviously it's not an easy ordeal in the cellar to run through and make sure you're got the right nomenclature on barrels to keep them all separate. But we've been doing a lot of press cuts with this stuff with free run versus the press juice. But then when you're able to use all of these components to blend a wine from the vineyard, you truly are able to make the best wine.
In the end, it's all about complexity. You know, we're looking at making the most complex, most interesting, in-depth wine. I mean, there's a lot of wines, not only in Texas, but all over the world that are great. They're delicious. They're just very singular or very, very simple wines. And those are fine, right? I like Coors Light or Coors Original. I drink more Yellow Bellies, but I like it because it's delicious. It tastes like water. It has alcohol in it, right? You could drink 7 of them, you know. That doesn't bring me joy. Well, it does bring me joy, but drinking these complex wines, I can sit and think about them, and I feel the intention and I taste the intention in these wines. And there's a lot of things that go into this, both on the farming practice and the winemaking practice, which, in my opinion, that's always gets me excited when I can taste. This wine in the glass has changed significantly since we poured it. You know?
Oh, absolutely. In 2021, we have 7 different La Pradera Mourvèdre lots. So just different places, different times, different blocks.
Fun fact: we make more Mourvèdre than anybody in the country except for one company. So yeah, in the country. I could talk about Mourvèdre all night. I know we need to keep on moving.
Yeah.
Are we producing less Mourvèdre? So why?
Oh, so Jennifer, that's a great question. Are we producing less Mourvèdre? If so, why? We did have Mourvèdre had a tough year.
2020, we had a really tough year.
Yeah, we were low in production on 2020. We had a lot of different factors happen in that. But we are back up in 2021 harvest. We did I think we brought in
Almost 200 tons of
190,
Yeah.
185.
from multiple vineyards. Pradera obviously is our
Main source.
Our main source of Mourvèdre, but Lost Straw Cellars brings in some Mourvèdre from Lost Straw Vineyards, and then Farmhouse Vineyards always has a really good Mourvèdre.
Yeah. From the Cook's House block.
Yeah.
Well, let's keep on moving, guys. We're going to jump into this Tempranillo from Fredericksburg in the Texas Hill Country. This is all farmed at Wild Seed Farms. Ryan Thomas farms this. Super nice guy.
Yeah, this is a really cool wine that I'm super.
Drink up, Buttercup. Let's go. It's No Dump Wednesday. Hey, where's Cal? We need Calvin over here. Come on, I need no Dump Wednesday. You're my drinking buddy.
Yeah, what am I? Yeah, so this is Tempranillo is a wine that I'm always super excited to talk about, especially in Texas. One of the main grapes in the Lost Straw portfolio, and we farm it and get it from 5 different places.
Yeah.
And this is the very first hill country wine that Lost Straw ever made. So,
And this single
Yeah.
wine right here. This is the
that is the
2019.
very first one, and that is we got it from, like you said, Wild Seed. Ryan Thomas actually called me one day and was like, "Hey, I got a block of Tempranillo if you want." I'm like, "Yeah." So it was kind of fun because up until this time, every bit of wine that had come down to be made at Lost Straw had been on a reefer truck from the High Plains. This one I had to borrow your
my fucking trailer.
I borrowed your flatbed to go out there and put bins on, and it was kind of fun because we got to bring it in same day, press it out, and so it's kind of a special wine for. I know Brad was a big proponent of starting to get stuff more locally sourced, and what's cool about this vineyard is there are a bunch of different AVAs in Texas. Obviously, the 2 largest are Texas Hill Country and the Texas High Plains. But this is like a small, tiny little AVA that's inside the Texas Hill Country, and it's called Fredericksburg in the Texas Hill Country. And I don't know, it's like this. I think it might be the smallest.
It kind of doesn't make sense, but
it really doesn't.
But that's okay.
But it's it might actually be the closest vineyard to Lost Straw Cellars. So that's kind of another cool thing.
This is delicious, by the way.
Yeah, we got to hang this fruit pretty long into the season, and we're super happy with the quality of it. So Tempranillo for Lost Straw is one of our bigger. Lost Straw kind of has a reputation for lighter body, more acid driven, especially red wines. Tempranillo is one that's a little bit meatier. It's got a little bit more weight, and we do a little bit different barrel profile and program for Tempranillo, especially because it does generally have a pretty spicy tannin, and we're trying to combat that with our oak a lot of the time. And
it's all American oak, yeah.
We do a hybrid oak, like a hybrid barrel.
The Don Brady
Special. So it's a hybrid American and French oak barrels that we get from a cooperage that we really have enjoyed working with a lot. And so it comes out generally, this is about 25% new oak, which is the highest percentage of new oak that we use for any of our wines. Generally pretty low oak impact, but for Tempranillo, and then we do a Tannat as well at Lost Straw, as you guys do at White Chris as well. So I love it. It softens it, gives it that nice dark cooked fruit note, and then American oak always has a pretty cool way of bringing that kind of vanilla aspect to wine. So,
and I tell you what, we at William Chris, Tony and I kind of took the approach. We've been making, and we've made some good Tempranillo, but I really got to take my hat off to Brad and Andrew. I think the Tempranillos, the depth that they make is just incredible, and we actually don't make Tempranillo anymore here at William Chris. We've actually kind of slid all of our old blocks over to Lost Straw to produce, which we appreciate. We kind of traded for sort of more of that block. It's kind of fun. So.
Yeah, and Tempranillo, Brad's always been a big proponent of this. It's special to me because it was the grapes that we planted at Lost Straw, the first grapes that I was a part of planting was Tempranillo. And so one of the oldest blocks at Lost Straw is the Tempranillo block. So the Lost Straw Tempranillo is like 17 years old now. So
Yeah.
it's pretty wild. Pretty cool.
That makes me feel old.
I know. Yeah. But it's kind of cool to see those as those grapes mature and you get some vine age and just the characteristics of the wine are always pretty similar.
God dang, I love this one.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
All right, guys. Well, let's keep on moving. First of all, did everybody taste the difference? And like that was a lot of American oak impact and Eastern European and French oak. This Mourvèdre is almost 100%, or it's probably 50-50 Eastern European and French oak, but only about 20% new.
Yeah, are there any like questions about the differences? Because these wines are very different and the styles are very different. And that's all like intentional.
Yeah.
We're really trying to.
I've always loved that when William, Chris, and Lastra make wine even from the same vineyard, like they're like totally different people, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you get a lot of the theme of the vineyard, and I think it's a really cool thing that you can go down the road too, and some of the blocks that we'll pick and even make together, or I say make together, we make separately, but you can taste even wines from like Albariño or Adega Vino that we get from the same vineyard or maybe not the same block, but you can taste the difference in the signature of the winemaker, and that it's significantly different.
What would you say the signature is for William Chris wines?
Well, I think the range is very wide, so we take, we take a certain amount of like our Cinsault and some of our Mourvèdre program and make this like really fresh, very interesting aromatic red wine that's mostly like concrete and neutral oak. And then we take, obviously our Bordeaux wines are very, it's the most new oak that we use in the program, almost like 40% new wood going into a lot of our Bordeaux wines, which is, or maybe 30%, which is a lot for William Chris. And then you take all of our other Sangiovese, it's definitely not necessarily on the total freshness side, but we build a lot of mid palate, like 12.
So that's exactly what I was going to say. Is I think a lot of it comes from like one of the places that our winemaking styles definitely differ is like skin contact time with red wines.
Yes.
Like the William Chris program, and Tony and Chris are much more prone to like leave wines on the skins, like even once they go dry, like give it some extended maceration time. Where it's like Lastra, we'll like press wines out that aren't even dry, like let them finish out in barrel,
Right.
which is like kind of a different
It's very
methodology, and it kind of creates a different profile for the wines for sure. And both very good. They're just like pretty different, and I think that's a lot of the reason that those wines are.
You could ask a timber winemakers how they make wine, and they'll be like, "Hey, by the way, anybody else that doesn't do this is really dumb." So, like there's a lot of different ways on getting to the same spot. I mean, it's an interesting way to say it. I tell you what's really cool: our winemaking team is constantly learning from each other. I mean, they're constantly sharing ideas. We're getting some really great talent too, some cellar guys from the West Coast, from Oregon, California.
Yeah, I think that's one of the coolest things is like our cellar team is in a place right now where we have some good experience. Obviously, there's 5 guys that work on the production team now that have been with the William Chris production team for over 2 years, which is pretty remarkable for this industry and especially this area that the guys have stayed with us so long. But what that's done is it's created a lot of good morale and like the guys like know the system.
They know each other.
We're also bringing in a lot of really good talent from the West Coast, like you said, and there's a couple new guys in that brought some cool, fresh perspective, like the cement mixer, like idea was like just.
So we literally have a cement mixer. I came in and was like, why don't we just get a cement mixer? There's a brand new cement mixer, like a electric one, and they use it for bung cleaning, which is super smart. So any winemaker out there, I've never seen that.
Yeah, that was an idea from a cellar guy that we got, Nick, and out of California. So
yeah. So awesome. Well, before we do the giveaway, guys, we got a couple of announcements, a little bit of cool things. You guys have all tasted these wines, or most of you. We got some cool stuff going on. Obviously, we're working on opening our farm in Johnson City up to the public. We're going to do some fun stuff, and build the Lost Drop brand there, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah, I think we should like maybe talk a little bit more about that. I don't know if you've been out to 290 in a while. Like there's a little property right outside of Johnson City that's really, really cool and unique, and we're gonna do some cool stuff on it. So definitely stay tuned.
Don't want to put all the plans out there yet, but
yeah, we've got some cool things in the works for that property. So,
and also at our property in Kingsland, one of our farms, we have 55 acres of grapes out there. We're looking at having another cool experience. Stay tuned, because I think if you're in the Highland Lakes area, the Horseshoe Bay area, we're gonna have some really cool stuff and some unique wines out there too. And so I think our company's growing in all these cool areas, and I don't know, I'm just excited to.
It is exciting. I
see it all come to fruition.
Yeah, and definitely like don't miss out on the Rosé dinner that's coming up.
By the way, only 7 tickets, 5 or 7. I think there's 7 tickets left.
I think there's 7 this morning. There might be like 5 now.
Yeah, so make sure that if you're coming to our Rosé dinner, we pulled out some really cool surprises in that Rosé dinner last year. It was super fun. I'll have to be honest. When they said we're doing 100% Rosé dinner, I was like,
yeah, you were definitely against it.
I was
but
like,
then you're like, wow, that was really
at the end, it was badass. We had so much fun, and we painted the town red that night too. It was a lot of fun. So if you were at the Rosé dinner, you know how many. Yeah, and I think they got some even more surprises for that too. So I'm pretty excited to get another Rosé dinner out.
You can get tickets for that, WilliamChrisWines.com. Just go to the shop.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy.
We got the hog and goat roast coming up. Andrew is going to be helping chef, all of our chef team.
Are you gonna make me chop this year, or what am I doing?
Yeah. Well, we're going to do a bunch of chambongs while we.
Oh yeah, I'm good at those.
Yeah, chambong. If you have never seen them, they're sparkling rosé.
There are some really cool. So Michelle, like on our events team, was talking about some of the ideas they're having for the hog and goat roast. That I was like, that is a really solid idea. So make sure you come out. There's like some cool activities and stuff that we're gonna do.
I do my great grandfather's cabrito recipe. We chef and our team's also doing a bunch of whole hogs. It's a great time. Bring the kids. It is going to be hot.
Definitely a family
awesome.
friendly though.
Yeah. Oh, so family friendly. That's one of my favorite events of the year. I think we have 17 cabritos. So fresh tortillas. Like this is a little piece of where I grew up. Like bringing it out to the hill country, which I love so much. I'm so excited.
And if you're competitive, there will be some competition going on.
Little goat roping.
Well, some other stuff too.
Oh, really?
You don't even know.
I don't even know.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
We got 2 more things. Salt Traders. What is the date of the Salt Traders dinner, by the way? That's coming up in like 2 weeks. June 7th, guys. We only have a few tickets left to the Salt Traders in Austin.
Place crushes.
Yeah, no kidding. I love
Slaps.
Yeah, the Salt Traders, the Jack Allen's guys are opened up a place called Salt Traders, which is delicious in downtown Austin, or it's actually not in downtown, it's like in Westlake, I guess. But killer spot for dinner. Come and join. I'll be there. I think Bill may be there. We've got a couple other folks going, so it should be a really good time. There's a few tickets left for that dinner. What else we got? What did I miss?
I think we got the paella. Yeah, paella. Don't forget about that. It's June 11th, Saturday night. It'll be fun.
And I got to tell you guys, we have the best white and rosé release coming out. Not only for La Straw, the rosé packs, but the William Chris packs. So like and most of it is already like it's as soon as it's released, it just goes to you guys. So there's so much of this wine that doesn't ever get released to the public. So kudos to all our wine club members out there, because you're getting some of the coolest of the cool wine that nobody else even gets access to on the website. It's like it only goes to you. So
are you getting emotional right now?
I'm getting a little emotional. And guess what else is back? We got one more wine.
I think I was most excited about this actually.
So any of you OG William Chris fans, there's a little story here. It was getting me all choked up over this earlier.
No, it's super cool. One of the like big like turning points for me, like deciding to. I don't want to say it was exactly this wine, but like when I came out here, we're living in San Antonio, and Andy was obviously Chris and I already had a little bit of a relationship, and he was telling me all the people that we needed to go check out. And William Chris, I think it just opened, and then maybe they're a year or two old. Came out here, had a tasting, had a great time, and like my favorite wine in the tasting was the Emotion.
Mhm.
And it was a wine that we kind of followed for a while, kind of collected it, and it changed like the label, and the story was always so fun. So it was like definitely one of the game changers for me. And then it like went away forever, and I was like, came in, I was like, why don't we do Emotion anymore? Like, what's the deal?
Bill was like, I hate that wine. I hate that label. And find that we had so many fans like really want to bring it back. And and Catherine is actually was
Catherine was super excited about
speaking of which, babe,
Yeah.
come over
Get
here.
over here.
I miss my other
the original lips from
Yeah.
the Emotion wine. Oh, guess
Actually, it's not. You know the funny story.
You're
for
right,
all the
never
people- I had some old girlfriends that I texted and was like, hey, can
some old girlfriends. That's how you
no,
got
no,
all the
they
lips
weren't
on there.
girlfriends.
All right,
They
now
were
we're
like
telling all
friends.
the
They were
secrets
girls,
here.
yeah.
I'm up here.
Yeah, and I was like, I'd asked a couple of people like, hey, can you? I got this idea. Can you kiss a piece of paper and send it to me? And it was supposed to be like, I wanted it to be like, you know, like when a girl gives you her number and like kisses it, gives it to you, or you're like your wife.
Hopeless
Does
romantic.
that really
here.
happen?
Yeah. In what world?
It happened to me a lot when I was in
11 years old in San Angelo,
Yeah.
eating cabrito.
Oh my God. You're killing me. But that was like kind of this like brainchild I had. But then we had a friend that she was like, hey, I just did a bunch of stuff and send it to you in line. And I thought it was always cool. And so like we played around with a bunch of different things and then ended up keeping the kind of like graph thing here. And I think it's a lot of different emotions. And I don't know, I thought it was really fun. And I think the new label came out really good. This blend too is killer.
It's a throwback label.
Karen Janssen So Mourvèdre. It's awesome. This blend
Just in
is-
time for summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great summer red.
So also for all of you,
There's not much of it though.
we sent an email out there's only like 8 cases left. Most of it sold this morning. So if you're a wine club member, and actually Leah just let me know, for everybody watching this video, it's available to you now. We unlocked it on the website.
It's a little
FYI,
trick of the trade for getting on here.
tomorrow it goes out to a ton of people on our email list, so
Yeah,
it
the
will
whole
get
email
sold
list.
instantly. So if you like it, you better get it.
There's 12 cases.
Yeah, I don't even know how many.
Seriously.
So let's do this giveaway. What are we gonna tell them? What do they win?
What are we winning? I don't know.
I don't know.
I actually don't know. I told you at the beginning that I didn't know.
Maybe I'll get out of here.
Andrew got weirded out with this earlier.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. It's the only thing about these virtual tastings. He gets really, really comfortable.
I love you, man, but you're not as cute as she is.
Yeah. All right, what are we giving away?
We're giving away
A day in Hill Country for 6 people?
Yeah, what does that day include?
Hey.
A Sabre experience.
It's getting real wild now.
Yeah.
Butt squeezes and sabers.
That's right. So we're gonna teach you, if you guys haven't done it already, we're gonna actually teach you how to savor a bottle of sparkling wine or a bottle of Pet Nat.
And if you haven't had the 2021 Pet Nat,
Ooh, doggy.
it's fire.
Well, I'll have to say too, if you haven't had
You're right, the Pinot Meunier.
the
Lost
Pinot
Trial is awesome.
Meunier at Lastra is like, man, I gotta hand it to our winemaking team one more time.
Yeah.
Like, so Brad and Tony have been going back with their notes on each other, and like, what's crazy is we the both sparkling wines are made like not totally different, but they're definitely made different. And what's cool is like the synergies. People are like, we're talking about closure, we're talking about glass, we're talking about different lees contact, we're talking about different styles, and I think it's
How to
so
lay it
cool.
down, how long we want to do that.
There's a lot of complexity there. But so okay, this giveaway,
You're really keeping teasing people here.
you're gonna get to do a savoring class, which is a savoring clinic.
Mainly you get to savor a bottle of wine and then drink it all. And you can do it at both locations because it's going to be like a it's the whole day in the Hill Country. We're going to do a cool thing, the savoring thing here at William Chris.
For 6 people,
6 people.
you get to go to
Yeah.
William Chris, and then you get to go to Lost
Go to
Straw.
Lost Straw, you do a tasting there and get a barrel tasting. We'll savor a Pinot Meunier bottle there too.
Hell yeah,
Just
barrel
because you
tasting.
already learned how to do it at William Chris.
That's right. You're going to be a trained professional.
Yeah. So
Okay,
how do you win this prize?
how do you win this prize?
We've got trivia questions.
We've got a trivia
Oh,
question.
we do? All right.
Everybody's ordering emotion right now. They can't do trivia. All right, what's the trivia question?
Oh, there's only 6
Oh.
cases left.
So,
Going fast.
what is today is National Wine Day, by the way. Cheers, guys.
Cheers. I'm glad I'm on this side of the camera. There's wine on this side.
How many national wine days are there?
I was looking the other day. There's 17 national wine-related days.
One
17.
related.
Well, it's like National Rosé Day, National Wine Day, National.
That's weird. I thought there was like
There's Natural
240.
Pet Nat Day, or National Pet Nat Day. Yeah.
It's so good.
Yes. So there's all these different things. So when was National Wine Day first mentioned? That's right. Did I ask the question right, Leah?
Earliest reference to national.
When's the earliest reference to National Wine Day?
I really want to know the answer. Is it in our cheat sheet? Do I
Oh,
have
it
It's
is.
to
not
see
what
the
you
answer?
would think, and we're waiting to see who
I
wins.
bet it's
this.
way older than we think it is.
Maybe not.
Don't be giving any hints.
Well, I hadn't seen the answer when I said that.
So we'll see. Let me go to
Yeah,
here.
this is a pretty good package. Pretty good little prize.
Yeah, heck yeah, it is. 2011, close.
That's some good
1911.
here.
1902. Come
There
on,
there was
guys.
wine then. Why wouldn't it be
Was there-
National Wine Day?
I'll give a
back
big
then?
hint. It is after the year 2000.
It is in this century.
And somebody just put a
2009, we got it.
Alex.
Alex
Valdez.
Trace, you're right.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So Alex Valdez, we will message you on Facebook to get you hooked up.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Hey, before we get off to you guys, so yes, we got all our marching orders, you got all the cool packs that are available. I do want to take a quick moment. We had our truck driver go down today, and yeah, Joe Del Rio, I didn't tell you about that.
No.
Our truck driver for the company, who's amazing, took a hospital ride to, I'm not sure exactly what happened, but say a quick prayer for Joe Del Rio. Yeah.
Yeah, like a heat stroke or something.
Yeah.
Oh my
So,
God.
yeah, anyway, so say a quick prayer, but guys, thank you so much. Really appreciate you. Can't say thank you enough. I cherish you guys. We do it all for you. We love growing grapes. We love making wine. We love sharing it with you and your families. And I cannot tell
We
you,
love drinking it with you too. So thanks for tuning in.
we love knowing that you guys are sharing this with your family and friends and your loved ones. It's like, for me, besides having kids, it's probably the most meaningful thing that I've ever done. So thank you guys so very much. We appreciate you, and we can't wait to see you at the tasting rooms. We got a lot of fun stuff going on. So plan your trip, come down, tell your friends. Also share this video. That helps us out big time. You can follow Andrew on Instagram,
Mr. Drew, baby.
Mr. Drew Baby, Catherine's wine grower's wife, and I'm IGHYATX. You can follow us on Instagram, like or friend us on Facebook, all that good stuff. So thank you guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Cheers to you
Love
guys.
it.
Thank you.
Thanks, babe, for coming up here.
Happy National Wine Day.